Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Marketing Evolution podcast. Today, I've got Lachlan from Autohouse Storage with me. Hey, Lachlan, how you going?
Great, thanks, Alexei. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, thanks for joining in on a busy Thursday afternoon. Mate, you've got quite an interesting business, and I think there's really a lot to your business that potentially is worth talking about. So, without taking this away from you, why don't you tell us what Autohouse Storage is all about?
Yeah, no worries, mate. Well, Autohouse Storage is a primarily a vehicle storage business. So it's effectively just a storage of vehicles, whether that be cars, caravans, boats, basically anything on wheels is what we'll take. Cars are our specialty, but we'll take most things on wheels. So we started just over 2 years ago now, so just our second birthday. And look, there's not you're right. There's not many of us around who specialise in the particular storage of vehicles. It's not really a massive thing in Australia, especially in Queensland. There's probably only 3 or 4 main competitors in the Southeast Queensland space. So yeah, we're a bit of a niche, but as we found out, thankfully there's definitely a market for it. So yeah, so far so good.
hmm So I guess what I really like about your business is that you're a niche specific business because a lot of the time people try to jump into a business that sort of does a bit of everything, and you're very very specific. So I like that about you, and I think the biggest challenge for a lot of businesses is actually understanding how different they are. So yours is really like the other way around. It is very distinct and very defined. So that's awesome. I guess with your customers, what sort of problem are you solving for the customers? So if someone calls you about car storage, what is it that they're actually looking for? I mean, I'm
Yeah,
sure
look,
there's more to it.
yeah, there's two prongs to that answer, mate. We obviously people lacking the space to store their own vehicle at home, or also lacking the security to store it at home. Whether they've expanded the collection, whether they're hiding it from a wife or a loved one. That there's a lack of space and safe environment to store it is a problem that we solve with obviously a very secure environment at our facility in Darra. So the base storage is one part of it. The other part of it that people don't always consider is the vehicle management side of it. And what I mean when I say that is a car off the road can deteriorate as quickly as a car on the road if it's not stored correctly. Everyone's had a flat battery if they haven't started their car in a long time. Everyone's had flat tires and things going wrong just due to lack of use. And I grew up in a family that collected some cars, and unfortunately, my dad wasn't very good with his car storage technique. So I constantly would be seeing batteries being replaced, and just cars being compromised because of poor storage techniques. So I guess I learned a lot from his mistakes in some ways. So look, these days, as part of our standard service to all vehicles, we'll put a battery conditioner on the car. We'll put a soft breathable dust cover over it so there's no dust migration. We'll start and run the engine every 2 or 3 weeks to get everything moving, so you avoid things seizing up and whatnot. We'll also keep an eye on the tire pressures. That's our standard service now. We used to do tiered offerings, but we just got sick of people saying, "Oh no, I don't want that." And 6 months later, they come back, battery's dead, and tires are flat, and you don't look very good, even though you try to sell that service to them. So I guess it's those two things. Vehicle management is really our mantra. We don't just throw the car into a shed and hope everything will work out. You really got to take care of it, and that's constant care, routine checks, and just a good routine to really cover them all off.
Mm. Well, I guess we'll talk about the big subject, the COVID-19, in a minute. But one thing I guess I wanted to touch on as well is vehicle consignment as well. That's one thing you've done a little bit of. And I guess that's really great, given the fact that a lot of people got stuck overseas and potentially couldn't really access their car, and a lot of uncertainty about that. Can you tell us a little bit more about that service?
Yeah, so an opportunity arose, I guess, unfortunately, from the misfortune of some of our customers who a big part of our market was people going overseas for a long period of time. That was a massive chunk. When COVID-19 hit, they disappeared overnight. So I had a number of customers who were stuck overseas who were saying, "Well, I don't know when I'm going to come back." Some are still stuck over there, and a light bulb went off. And I thought, "Oh, well, maybe we can sell the car for them." So we did that with the customer, and it proved to be a good little revenue raiser while we're pretty quiet from a storage point of view during the lockdown period. And funnily enough, just today we purchased a car off a customer to sell onwards. A customer stuck in Canada, unfortunately. So to save them the headache of having to work out of getting a friend or relative to do it. We have a lot of good connections and getting things like roadworthies, mechanical work or whatever it needs doing. So it's a little side hustle, I suppose, and a good little revenue earner at the same time.
Excellent, excellent. Well, I think that's excellent. I mean, you are focused on a solution for a client, and regardless of what the situation is, pretty much anything to do with car, looking after it, making sure it's detailed, making sure it's on the road or even sold. That's just terrific. So let's talk about the COVID-19. Obviously, it's been quite a tough year for a lot of business and feels like it's been going forever. The 2020, I don't know, the year of opportunities or the year of loss, whichever way you want to look at it, it hasn't been the same sort of year. So how are you finding this this year, and how has your business sort of changed? I mean, I know you've obviously got a couple of different avenues arising from that, and overall, I mean, what can you tell us about the transition through these difficult times?
Yeah, look, I suppose for us, we were quite fortunate with the timing in a way, in that we'd already had about 130 customers when COVID-19 hit. So we already had that established cash flow, week in, week out payments from our customers. Now, we definitely lost a number of customers who, I suppose, had a bit of a knee-jerk reaction and thought, oh, I better start cutting costs in my life. We're very much a luxury cost. So I definitely saw some downfall there. And look, the phone just stopped ringing. It was like overnight, inquiries went right down. And yeah, it was quite confronting there for one point. And as I said to you before, a big part of our market, our best customers are the ones that go overseas for a long period of time. They're away for 6 months. They want all the extras. They don't come back and visit their cars. They're really good customers to have, and they just disappeared overnight, and they still aren't there until international travel opens again. You know, that market just isn't there, and that was probably about 20% of our market. So it's hard to go and find 20% to replace that. So I guess during this time, you know, I thought, to be honest, I was very bored. You know, I had not much to do, so I thought, well, what can I do? You know, to, I suppose, buy the time. And I'd always had a interest in e-commerce and starting a little online gig. I'd done some work for a transport company in my younger years, and I was really fascinated by the whole system. This is, you know, probably 10 years ago when it was really just starting off. And I thought, well, what can I do here? What can I sell online that's kind of related and complements Autohouse storage? And you know, I didn't have like the light bulb moment of like, oh, this product's going to sell, but I had a really good supplier of car covers. You know, I buy direct from the factory, and I thought, oh, you know, these things, you know, they're, I don't know, people don't froth over car covers so much, but I thought that in the market of car covers, there's a really cheap, nasty stuff you buy from your super cheap autos and whatnot. And then there's the super high end with the custom, like, you know, factory custom covers you'll buy off Porsche, Ferrari and pay $1,000 for it. So I thought there's a bit of a gap in the market for something in between. And so I suppose during my downtime, developed a brand called the Cover Shop and a product called the Sleeping Bag. You know, it just dipped a toe in the water. I ordered 100 of them from the factory, so not a huge outlay. I thought, you know, if I only sell half of them, that's fine, because I can use the other half in Autohouse for our customers out there. And yeah, they rocked up, and we launched, I think, about 6 weeks ago, and the 100 pilot shipment, I call it, is basically sold out now. They went flying at the door a lot faster than what I thought they would, and you know, the price seemed to be okay. And you know, Shopify has made everything so easy. It's a Shopify website, and yeah, it looks so far so good. It's been a fantastic revenue stream for us, and have really got us out of the rough months that we had during lockdown. And yeah, I guess we're at a point now. I've just ordered a container of them, which is 1,200 covers. So 12 times the amount we initially ordered, but I believe in the product. It's proven itself to me now. The feedback from our customers has been pretty good so far. You know, positive, people going out their way to post photos of their cover on their car on our social media channel. So yeah, I'm not going to say it was easy, but you know, the Shopify platform combined with some good looking social media marketing, some good looking content videos it's a recipe for success. And it's been, you know, we're very much in the early days. Like, we're still in a beta version of the website. I'm still learning a lot about the product and the customer, but yeah, it's been a very nice thing to come out of what was a pretty average situation earlier in the year.
Excellent, excellent. Well, it's a niche specific product, and I think you have a very defined target market. So, I mean, many people made a mistake thinking that, well, everyone's my customer, I'm going to sell it to everybody. And look, there's plenty of car covers out there, but I think if anyone's to look you up, the cover shop website really features the product quite well. It's a high quality product. It's specifically designed for, I guess, a high target market. And there's a lot of problems that the product addresses, like scratching or something like that. And that's one of the key issues with car covers. People put them on thinking, well, we're trying to protect it from scratching and dust and all the other things. As a result, you get the opposite. So this is actually a really, really good product. And I think the thing is, once you get a great product, you don't really need to do a lot of marketing. You just need to give it a push in the right direction. So, mate, well done. That's really, really good. And I guess another thing that originated from all this stuff is your events. Can you tell us about the caffeine and machine? I think you've had your event just over the weekend, right?
Correct. We had our final, well, caffeine and machine, we call it, which is a cars and coffee event that we hold on semi-regular intervals. Look, that cars and coffee, for those who don't know, is a very casual, quick event where you'll get a bunch of car enthusiasts together, very usually early in the morning, and there'll be coffee from a coffee cart or something like that. And people just get together, have a nice cup of coffee, and talk shop about their cars. It's just a good excuse to get out and drive your sports car or your little weekender, and you're in and out. They're usually over by about 8:30 in the morning, so you've got the rest of your day to go and do things. So that whole concept has really taken off. As a big one that happens every month at Cooperoo. They're always free events there. There's nothing you have to pay to get in there or anything like that. So when we first moved into the facility at Autohouse, it's got a really expansive car park area. And it was my dad that said to me, oh, you could hold a cars and coffee event in here. And I didn't even think of that myself, I'll be honest. And I thought, okay, we had pretty good connections with the Porsche Club of Queensland. And we thought, oh, we might hold one with these guys and see how it goes. And I thought maybe 20 or 30 cars might rock up in best case scenario. And that particular date, this is February last year, we did this one. Probably 70 odd cars rocked up. We thought, okay, what else can we do with this? All right, we'll do themed events. So we did an all Italian car day later in that year, which was also very well attended. That was it for last year. Then we started them again this year, and we've done three. We've done three now. We did an Italian day again. We did an all British day, and then on the weekend we did an all Porsche day. And each one was bigger than the last.
Wow.
In both numbers of cars that rocked up and also people. I always think, oh, I won't be that busy, but they always are a lot busier than the last one. And the car park area, as well as the car park area that we borrow from our neighbours, is full before the event officially starts, and people have to park on the street. It's quite amazing to see. But the reason why we do that is purely a marketing point of view, because you're getting very, very qualified potential customers coming into your business in a social friendly environment. They've got a cup of coffee in their hand, they might have a bratwurst in the other, and we leave the door of our shed open and people can see what we do and what we're all about. And I think absolute dynamite, because just the quality of attendee. Every person that owns a car there is a potential customer who might need a space one day. And while it's hard to quantify the exact conversion rate and success of the events, you just know they work, because you just hear things. Oh, I was at your cars and coffee event last year, and you just know they're definitely worthwhile, and they don't cost much to run. We do a bit of Facebook advertising. There's a few little costs here and there, but it's in the hundreds of dollars. A lot of time on our end, but time well spent, I think. So they've been great for us this year. I suppose people being stuck at home, not being overseas, they want to go and do things, and cars and coffee is definitely up there on the to-do list. So I guess now we're done for the year, and we have to think about where we go next year. What other themes can we do? Because with every theme of car, you've got completely different people. Your Italian enthusiasts are going to be a bit different from your British enthusiasts. So each day you're going to have almost completely different people at the event. So thanks to the genres of vehicle out there, you've got all these different people at every event, which is obviously a fantastic thing. So I guess we think now, okay, how do we monetize these events? How do we get some sponsorship? These are things we've got to think about for next year, and what other themes we can do and what other characters we can get in there. So from a marketing point of view, fantastic events. And very proud that people, you see some comments on social media, people go, oh, great event. And we get really, really positive feedback on it. So yeah, they've gone great.
Excellent. Well, it's really good to hear about these events. And look, I've certainly have seen the photos that people are sharing all over Facebook. I think it's one of those things that goes viral very quickly as well. And I think what you've done is really, really smart, because you're able to tap into your ideal customer way before they actually inquire with you. And I think that's key, because look, let's be honest, you're a very niche specific business that's not located very centrally. Like you're sort of in the southwest of Brisbane. And in that particular area, people, not your entire target market, will be driving past that spot. So you're inviting them essentially to your door to see exactly what it's all about. And they're able to see all the other cars that are basically being garaged with you and the sort of service that you're providing. I think that's excellent. I think what you've done really shows quite well how you've basically used the events as a way to create awareness. And then from there, potentially come and visit the store. And then you've got the covers as an upsell either to your Autohouse storage business or the actual events themselves. I think those all things really connect quite well. That's excellent. Yeah. So in relation to the marketing side of things, I mean, what you've explained within itself sort of just shows how the marketing has evolved over this year, and whether it's your free time or whatever it is that's triggered the whole thing. Do you want to add anything to it in terms of how the whole marketing has evolved, I guess, over, let's say, the last year or a couple of years? Because no doubt when you open the business, last thing you were probably thinking about is Google ads or Facebook or events or covers or something.
Oh, mate, my background pre-Autohouse was in construction project management, when didn't know anything about, didn't know what SEO meant, didn't know what Google ads did, really knew nothing about, 21st century marketing. So it was all a big, steep learning experience. I suppose one thing to comment on that has changed this year, and this is not really COVID related or anything adapting like that, but just the way we talk to our customers, way we talk to our inquiries. Historically speaking, what I would do if I got a quote inquiry for storage, I would just go, oh yeah, you've got a car, it's this car, all right, it's $50 a week or whatever it is. And I just email that to them. I wouldn't call them. And I was doing this embarrassingly for quite a long time. Had a chat with a marketing guru of sorts who steered me in the right direction. And now we get on the phone to them. So we get on the phone, and a lot of people still think out there, they think, oh, okay, I've got a card in the store, I'll call Kennard Storage, or I'll call a National Storage, like a traditional self-storage company, where they're not well set up for vehicle storage at all. They're not going to offer any of the services that we can offer to maintain the car. So yeah, there's an education process with that. And so we get them on the phone, explain that to them. We're not a Kennards, explain that we're going to take care of your car as well as store it. And that has paid dividends. And we definitely see better conversion rates because of that. And people have that nice interaction experience that, one, we're passionate about what we do and we know what we're doing, and, that they feel a lot better about it than just getting an email from us saying this is the price. So that's been a positive thing. As I said to you, obviously the events have helped us a lot, and just refining what we are doing with Google ads and SEO. We don't really rely too heavily on social media for Autohouse. Social media, on the other hand, is predominantly where we get our cover sales from. Probably 90% of our cover sales come from social media. So it's obviously important to get that right. And understanding the decay of content as well. It's something I'm looking at now. We got this video done up, which was great, but it's probably wearing off a bit now. I think, okay, all right, what's our next play here? What are we going to film? They're sexy looking car covers. I say to people, and you've got to have sexy looking marketing, and I suppose you've got to keep on top of that. That is the upshot there.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm afraid to ask what's next, mate. I mean, all these ideas are just coming to fruition so quickly. Have you got anything in mind? I mean, is there anything in particular you're wanting to launch 2021 or later this year?
Look, the goal going into this year, the goal was to open a new Autohouse on the north side. We think there's a market there due to the airport proximity and also the proximity to wealthy suburbs like Ascot, Hamilton, Playfield. Now that still is the plan. We just can't really do anything until we know more about international travel, because it's going to rely a lot on the airport proximity. So that's kind of on the back burner right now, and I don't mind that because it's giving me more time to it will give me more time to work on the cover shop. That, I suppose it's got a bit of a case of being the new shiny toy a little bit. And it's very exciting, just the capacity it's got and what it's done in such a short amount of time. So I guess the goal right now is to work out, all right, how can we expand the product range? How can we really be the leading car cover on the market to the point where, the brand is such where someone sees that, okay, I want one of those. My friend's got one. And there's a bit of product development there that needs to be done. But yeah, I suppose that's the real priority right now, is understanding how we expand an online store, and because it's scalable. Autohouse is unfortunately limited by the capacity we have under that roof. The online store is the sky's the limit. So I suppose that's the next play, mate, is to see how we can build this online presence.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I've seen that, 2020 has been the year of e-commerce. There's so many new ideas that really have taken off. And I guess it's not just about the product. It's about things like, availability of the product as well, because a lot of businesses weren't able to deliver, given the fact that they're sourcing their stuff from overseas and the factory could be, at a halt or potentially not being able to ship. Then there'd be things like people potentially not able to, access customization to the product. And I guess one thing you haven't covered is that you're able to customize your covers to a degree. So there's just so many different angles to this whole thing, and they get affected in so many different ways. But at the same time, this creates massive demand. I think this is a massive, massive opportunity, mate. So well done, mate. In terms of, tips and advice, I mean, is there anything in particular you would advise anyone, in business right now? So obviously it's been quite a year, and for some people have been affected more than others, obviously, but any advice from you?
Two things that are both completely different. One, just based on my very recent experience with online store, if you've got an idea for a product, if you've got something that you can get that no one else can or people will struggle with, it's very accessible to be able to be an online seller thanks to Shopify and other platforms like that. Get your marketing right, get your target market right, and you'd be amazed at what you can sell online, and it's only going to go bigger and bigger. I mean, basically, that would be my advice. If you've got a bit of an idea, that'd sell well. If you've got friends asking about things, whether it be handmade things or whatever, give it a crack. I mean, dip a toe in the water. That if it fails, you're not going to be bankrupt. Give it a go, because I have limited IT skills, but yet I can run a Shopify website by myself. They make it very easy for you, and just the whole transaction process, the shipping process, it's all automated. I mean, it's almost too easy. That's one. Yeah, go and give it a crack. The other thing is, I stole this off one of your other clients that we discussed the other day, but the 1%ers in business, and this relates more to the service at Autohouse, and that's just doing the little things that unfortunately a lot of people aren't going to notice. Examples of that in our world are, if the customer's coming to collect a car, we're not going to leave it in the sun because no one likes getting into a hot car. We'll leave it in the shade. If the clock on their radio is an incorrect time, we'll change that. It's these little tiny things, that little 1%ers that add up, and I think they pay off. They're hard to quantify in regards to paying off, but get them right, and you'll go a long way. And just be prepared to go the extra mile. It sounds cliche, and you hear this, but once you get into business, you can't understand that there's so much merit to it. Just do the little things, make the effort, and eventually it'll pay off.
100%. I think those are great tips, and for those who are listening, I think you definitely maybe want to listen to that again. And the whole idea about the 1% is, it really surprises me how some really simple things sway people's decisions when it comes to choosing a company. And I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to customer care. And if you can make the most out of it, you will definitely have clients for life. But when I say that, it doesn't just mean that the customers are going to come back. It means that they're going to tell other people about your business as well, which creates natural referrals. And that's exactly what you want. Because at the end of the day, if a business has a story connected to it, and people tell this over a barbecue or at Christmas parties, that's what drives business. And that's really quite simple.
Word
Excellent,
of mouth.
mate. Yeah.
Word of mouth. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, mate, thanks very much. And look, for those of you who might be interested to find out more about the business, check out autohousestorage.com.au. And also there's going to be links in there to the cover shop as well. And the product is also on the website. You'll love it. I think it looks amazing. And yeah, if you have any questions, I'm sure you can shoot an email to Lachlan via his website as well. He's a busy man, but he might be able to get back to you. So
Always.
yeah, Lachlan, appreciate your time. Thanks very much to find a little bit of time for us on the busy Thursday afternoon, and hope to see you soon.
Thanks, Alexei. Thank you very much for having me, mate. It's been great.
Thanks, guys, for listening. And if you have any questions, please comment below and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you.